Morning campers, and there is the Alphard with the sun rising behind it like a giant orb, or like a giant sun, which I suppose is what it is. Traffic starts to rumble. Early morning Suffolk. You can see the cover on the front windscreen. See the frost on it. In case any of you thought I was lying about my cold night, there is the proof. All the proof that you need. Anyway, just been to the bathroom. Not in the Alphard, doesn't have a bathroom. I'll show you if you want. There, you can see. Scrubbed and tubbed. Just made it to the toilet in time. You don't want to know all the details, but well, that's probably enough detail for you, isn't it? This Life Venture towel, one of those things that folds up to the size of a 10p piece. Pretty effective. First time I've used it. I had it for about 4 years now. I bought it for when I thought I was going to go to Everest Base Camp, but that's still a journey in the planning, I suppose. But no, the towel worked well. Did my teeth. Not very impressive, are they? So now for some breakfast. Luckily the van has warmed up. Thank God. And if you saw my previous video, which was about spending the night in the camper, my first night in the camper van in Halesworth in Suffolk, you will know that I am here in Southwold to do a bike ride. More specifically, a kind of what they call the Suffolk Roubaix, which is a sportive, including some gravel sections, which I'd signed up to do, and I was going to do the 75-mile version. Now you're listening to me saying was, and thinking, hang on a minute, what's going on here? Fact is, no, it's not what you think it is. I'm not feeling 100%. That's number one. Number two, first night in the camper van resulted in a little bit of a dodgy back. So yeah, not feeling 100%. Back not 100%. So I can't really decide what to do. It's also very cold. And riding in very cold is probably not very good for my cough and my chest and so on. I just sound like a whinger, don't I? Oh, I don't feel well. I can't go to work today. But I mean, it's a Sunday. I wasn't due to go to work today, so I can't decide. So perhaps I'll have a bit of a wander round, let you see what's going on, and make up my mind in a little while. So stay tuned. You don't want to miss what might happen, or even what might not happen. I've got the Brompton though. That's the thing. Yes, I was going to do the ride on the Brompton. I was looking forward to it as well, but now I'm not so sure. Anyway, we'll see. Well, this is the kind of car park where everybody is locked up and is in the process of getting ready. As you can see, people there sorting out their bikes, stretching, checking to see whether they've got enough gels in their pockets, so forth. Here's a man here with a nice looking bike, putting the wheel on, getting ready. So all the kind of activity that you expect at an English sportive. And that's looking towards Southwold, and then Walberswick, and eventually, I suppose, the sea just beyond there. And there with his dog. And there's some old Roman ruins there, not quite sure what they are. Perhaps a gas tank. Big users of natural gas for the Romans. Well, here's the start line. Pedal Revolution have organised this particular shindig. Looks like a nice event. Now there's a sign to warm the cockles of your heart. No overnight sleeping, camping or cooking. Can you sleep during the day? Can you camp during the day? Can you cook during the day? It doesn't say, but you can't do it overnight. Just had a very nice chat with this gentleman here, just sorting out his bike, who has a Holdsworth, a Planet X branded Holdsworth. Really nice looking carbon gravel bike. And he said he's got a number of bikes in his stable, but this was his favourite, and he really likes it. And I've got to say, nice looking bike. So anyway, and there's a tow bar mounted Tula bike rack on the next car along, which is something I'm considering. So that's an interesting event after all. Okay, there is the Brompton all set up with the new Ergon GP, is it? GP3 grips? I'm not sure. Anyway, I've made a decision. I'm not going to ride the event, but I am going to ride the Brompton. So what I'm going to do is a kind of Southwold, Walberswick loop. So I shall leave the van here, having paid for parking. I shall get on the Brompton, put on my helmet and the rest of my gear, and I shall go exploring, and I shall take you with me. So, hope you're happy with that decision. If you're not, you can leave a comment down below. Sort of typical sportive scene. People milling around with their bikes, getting ready to set off on their journey. Looks like a nice event. Kind of wish I was feeling a bit better, and maybe I bought a gravel bike. Well, yes and no. I'm obviously the only person on the Brompton, getting some strange looks, but then I get strange looks all the time anyway, so no change there. And so the riders have set off, and they are heading down the road now towards Walberswick. There in the background is that Roman gas tank I was talking about earlier.
On the road. We're quite busy in that.
Looks like they're off for a good time. Well, I've arrived at Southwold Harbour. Not exactly following the route. I've got about 300 yards and decided to turn off here because the harbour looks so beautiful in this early morning light, and so it does. And the amazing thing is, I could just push my bike over the edge like that. Isn't that weird? It's amazing one could do that. But then I suppose I shouldn't be on this kind of jetty. Anyway, that's looking down on, I guess, Southwold. Is this Southwold River leading to the sea? Isn't it beautiful? I'm always amazed when I see these kind of signs. I mean, how did they know I'd be here? How did they know I was coming? Only a few people knew. I certainly didn't tell any sign writers, and yet there's the sign. You're here. They know it. It's weird. It's got to be, I don't know, enemy action, MI5, something like that. Now the question is, can my bike stay there supported long enough for me to take this video before it topples over into the sea? Well, I've now been riding along the side of the river through Southwold Harbour, past some, pardon me, that's the old cough there that I've got. Past some really attractive ships. I mean, that's like it's like a sloop, isn't it? I wonder if that's the sloop John B. Looking a little bit worse for wear, but imagine if that was cleaned up and tidied up and repainted. What a beautiful sight that would be. Don't go for those modern things so much. And there's one just around here, not that one, kind of Captain Pugwash type boat. This one here. Oh, I do like that. Very pretty colouring. See what I mean? Pretty colouring, isn't it? Red, white and blue. Is that the colours of the French flag? There's the Brompton there, sitting next to Captain Pugwash's boat. I wonder if Captain Pugwash had a Brompton. Interesting thought, isn't it? Now, if it wasn't for the fact that, you know, we're by the sea and people speak English, stuff like that, there's something very Flandrian about this landscape. And we're also, believe it or not, on what might loosely be called gravel. In fact, it might even be called loose gravel. And there you can see it stretching ahead. And there are some cyclists passing me now who are on the sportive. As you could say, I suppose, I am on this section of the route anyway. Interesting. There's a few more coming. Morning. There's loads of them. I wonder if this is, I don't know, what they call the family ride. I think I could be on the family ride. Assuming I start doing some riding. Morning. Which I haven't done yet. Well, I have, but not much. Probably loads of them. I've picked every circuit. Or the Tour of Flanders, which if you've done it, you will know is full of cyclists.
And it provides
And yet here we are in Suffolk, and what do we have? Gravel. Gravel as far as the eye can see. And actually, really, this is what gravel riding should be about, I think, at least. And it's great, isn't it? The fact that I'm actually standing on the bike, not standing on the bike, but, you know, standing as opposed to riding the bike, doesn't alter the fact that this is gravel riding at its best. And here come a whole load of cyclists who have clearly not seen my video. So, if you haven't yet seen the video, can I suggest 7 reasons not to buy a gravel bike should be top of your list. And you can hear as I ride along the tyres crunching on the gravel. Isn't that amazing? You know, this is why I bought a gravel bike. And yet the one time that I could have ridden a gravel bike actually on gravel, I'm on the bloody Brompton. I mean, go figure, as they say. No wonder they call this the Suffolk Roubaix. These bastards are going flashing past me, thinking they're fucking Sonny Colbrelli or something. And they ain't. They're just a group of weekend riders on their posh carbon bikes, laughing at me because I'm on a Brompton. So they're laughing at me, who's laughing at them, who's being laughed at on a gravel route. And it's a glorious day. Isn't this? What a fine time to be alive. And now the gravel runs out. It's amazing what you come to, what you find when you take a new turning. I've deviated from the set route, followed a road, a byway, heading I know not where. And it's got me to here, this beautiful sandy shore, puppet on the string, this beautiful sandy shore, which is Walberswick, near Walberswick. And if we look over there, we can just see in the distance Southwold with its famous lighthouse just there, sticking up my finger at the end of one of my videos. Beautiful. So this is Walberswick. Well, I thought it was Walberswick, if I'm honest. Very pretty village. It's a kind of Clerkenwell by the sea. I think there's a lot of yuppies. Do we still have yuppies? Graphic designers, thespians, writers, musicians, people like that, who settle in Walberswick. I suppose because it's very attractive and quite arty. Nice place. One thing about the Brompton, and do you want to see me? Yeah, so one of the things about the Brompton, and I may not be the first person to have said this, is there is no great desire to go quickly on it. And I'm really just happy to pootle along about 7 miles an hour, if that, stopping every few hundred yards, particularly if I'm in a place like this and I'm making a video. There's just, what's the rush? What's the rush? That's what I say. What's the rush? Where's everybody going in such a hurry? I suppose they might be going to Walberswick, but if they are, they've arrived. Somebody just stopped me, saw the Brompton, and said, "What's that like then? What do you think of it?" I of course referred him to my video, 10 Reasons Not to Buy a Brompton, which if you haven't seen yet, you can find on my channel and is well worth a watch, though I say so myself. I'm now at the opposite side of the river from where you saw me earlier. So that side of the river is Southwold and this side of the river is Walberswick. And that's looking down the river towards the sea, although you can't see it there. This is really extraordinarily attractive. No, I'm not just talking about the Brompton. I'm not just talking about me either. Because I'm talking about the scenery, the location, and the peace and the quietness of it. I haven't yet been close passed by a BMW or Range Rover or Mercedes, although there are plenty of those cars about, because it's extraordinarily quiet around here. A beautiful day, Sunday. The gentleman I just spoke to was asking me about the Brompton, said perhaps a lot of people have gone away for some late skiing, which I suppose kind of sums up Walberswick residents. But maybe that's true. Perhaps that's why these places aren't particularly busy. Those people who would have come here, because it's quite a posh place really for a holiday, Walberswick and Southwold, quite a posh place. So those people who've got money have gone skiing. So that's why they're not here, which suits me just fine, because there's more time for people like me riding his Brompton. The other thing about the Brompton And you may say there's a lot of film of the Brompton, but there's a video about the Brompton, or Brompton ride anyway. It's quite photogenic in a funny kind of way. Whereas normally you don't necessarily want to take a lot of pictures of your road bike. But with the Brompton, you do. Funny that, isn't it? And eagles and vultures cawing in the background. Do vultures caw? Do they make some other kind of noise? Scoffing sound, I suppose, when they're eating small furry creatures. People going crabbing there. I hope they put them back. You're supposed to keep them once you fish them out of the water. You're supposed to put them back. And now here I am, clambering over sand dunes with the Brompton, heading I know not where. Well, I suppose sand dunes are going to lead to the sea eventually, aren't they? And indeed they do. And here it is. Just looking back along the beach where I was, I don't know, about 45 minutes ago. That's nice. And there's the Brompton, resting against a piece of driftwood on the beach. On the beach at Walberswick. Beautiful. The sound of the sea. It's very soothing, isn't it, the sound of the sea? Much more soothing than my voice. Pay hundreds of quid to get an app playing it that. That's enough now. There's a scene at the end of one of my favourite films, Big Wednesday, where the three kind of heroes of the film meet again after a number of years because they're surfers, and they emerge kind of over this sand dune, and they're surprised that all three of them are still there and still alive and still wishing to go surfing. If you haven't seen it, it's a wonderful film about friendship. Funny, as I say that, here they are, the three protagonists, emerging over the sand dunes, ready to go surfing one last time. I call that serendipity. I don't know what you call it. Great film, Big Wednesday, directed by John Milius. Now, why do I get the feeling that that sign is not true? I think it's designed to deter people from parking here. What do you think? So I've stopped at this rather nice deli cum cafe in Walberswick, and the selection of food on offer was really delicious. So I said to the lady behind the counter, "What do you recommend?" Well, she said, I like the spinach and the ricotta and the feta pie. And I said, And she said, I like the leek and fennel and sweet corn courgette fritter. And I said, they all sound a bit vegetarian to me. She said, I am a vegetarian, which put me in my place. They had some delicious looking sausage rolls, which I kind of fancied. I said, are they hot? She said, well, we're going to have to put the oven on. It's a bit like when chef's gone home. So we'd have to put the oven on, and it'd take about 10 minutes to heat up, and then about 15 minutes to heat up. I said, okay, we'll leave the sausage roll. So I went for a toasted and buttered hot cross bun. Looks delicious. Do you want to see me eat it? Oh, that's nice. It wouldn't be a Julian video if you didn't see me with my mouth full of some food that you are seriously jealous that you haven't got. Tasty. You may have noticed, by the way, that I'm in mufti today. I'm not wearing lycra and stuff like that. I did have that all sorted out. I was going to wear my bib shorts and my leg warmers. Castelli Gabba long-sleeved windproof jacket. You know, all the gear and no idea. But the thing is, you wear all that and you ride at Brompton, you look like a bit of a knob, to be honest. So I thought I'd wear mufti. And it's funny how you feel different on a Brompton when you're wearing mufti than if you're wearing lycra on a road bike. I do think car drivers treat you differently as well if you're on a Brompton and you're wearing mufti and you're not on a road bike. What do you think? Do you find that? Do they treat you differently? Interesting thought, isn't it? There's the Brompton next to a rubbish bin. There's some people in the background talking, which is why I'm trying to keep my voice down. That's the sound of me eating my hot cross bun, by the way. I also bought this rather attractive looking Harris and James peanutty bean to bar chocolate. Chunky salted peanut butter blended with caramelised white chocolate. Enrobed. It's my irritating cough again. Enrobed. What sort of word is that? Enrobed in our finest bear to bar milk chocolate. Enjoy. Well, I intend to enjoy it. This is St Andrew's Church in Walberswick. And the interesting thing is, here's the church here and here's the rest of the church. But as you can see, it's surrounded by these extensive ruins, which suggests either this was a previous church or the church was once much bigger than it is now. And this is what remains. Isn't that fascinating? And there is all that remains of the original church Brompton, which was used by the bishop to get around the parish. And as we do a kind of tracking shot through this archway, you can see the graveyard. What a fascinating and peaceful and beautiful place. I must say I'm really enjoying this ride. Really enjoying this ride. And here is the famous Southwold lighthouse, which is famous, I suppose, if you're a lighthouse fetishist, of which there are a number of Facebook groups. As I did a search for fetishes, not for any particular reason, you understand, and I came across the Lighthouse Fetishists Appreciation Group, or LFAG for short, if you want to look it up. Quite impressive, isn't it, in a kind of phallic, lighthousey kind of way. Lighthouses, incidentally, were designed for low-flying aircraft to know what the height of the tallest building was in a town. And so the lighthouse was built to the exact same height of the existing tallest building in the town, which of course created problems when people invented skyscrapers, because then the lighthouses were too short. But I suppose that's progress of a sort. You want to see the Brompton again? Or are you fed up with it? I'm fed up with it. I'm riding the bloody thing. Anyway, here it is, in front of a pub. And this is, I don't know what it's called actually. Oh, it's called the Soul Bay Inn. Soul Bay Inn. And there's the Brompton in front of the Soul Bay Inn. Not bad, is it? This is another one of those 8 AM to 6 PM parking signs here at the car park at Southwold Beach and Pier. I mean, I don't want to come across like a militant hashtag van life person, but what actually is the problem with somebody parking here overnight and sleeping in their van or their car? What's wrong with that? Leave a comment down below if you know the answer. This is the model yacht pond. I don't know if you can see any model yachts. Can you? Oh, I don't think you can. They're not yachts though, are they? That's a kind of motorboat. Miniature motorboat. Is it a miniature motorboat or is it just very far away? I think if you look at the size of those people compared to the boat, it's actually a small boat. There, and it's sunk. Oh no, it hasn't sunk. Oh, it's crashed. No, it hasn't crashed. It's run out of petrol. Or diesel, more likely. Can't get diesel around here. There it is. See? My camera work is pretty good. Following that boat around. Look at it go. Danger, deep water, dogs on leads at all times. That means you can't have a model dog. Can you get like a remote controlled dog? Where you kind of, like a Tamiya. Remember Tamiya? They used to make model cars and boats. Could you get a model dog, a remote controlled dog? Why not? I think that would be fun. These people seem to be having fun. But they haven't got a remote controlled dog. That beach hut is called a Windrush. Is that in poor taste? I'm not sure. I love the way, right? Let me just zoom out. You see, these beach huts are in a car park. See what I mean? Look, they're in a car park. So, not only have they not got a view of the beach, what they have a view of is a whole load of great big fucking 4x4s. And if you're sitting in your beach hut, on the veranda of your beach hut, and along comes somebody in a great big fuck off VW California, I mean, where's your view then? I mean, you haven't got a view, have you? Even if you're sitting in the front of Windrush, and nobody is, by the way, you're sitting in the front of Windrush, and great big fuck off Skoda comes along, and then a what's that? Nissan Qashqai. I mean, would you pay 300,000 quid for one of these beach huts? I wouldn't. Not that I've got 300,000 quid, of course. But they're in a car park. I've never seen that before. Amazing. Two fat ladies. That beach hut is called. Never mind two fat ladies. What about one fat bloke? One flat bloke, one fat broke. Yeah, fat bloke. Can you say that? Leave a comment down below if you can say fat bloke, flat broke. Did I get that right? And a Brompton. You don't have to add that bit. It's the flat broke, fat bloke. Did I get it right? I think so. Anyway, two fat ladies, one fat bloke, and a Brompton. In front of a beach hut. In a car park. See? You can see, now those beach huts at least have a view of the beach, but behind them they have cars. The ones in front of me, which is what you saw previously, just have a view of the cars. I'm going to be stopping every 5 minutes on this really. But this beach hut, if you can see, just focus in, it's called Serendipity. Now, how's about that? Imagine coming across a beach hut called Serendipity. What do you call that? I call that serendipity. I don't know what you call it. Then you see you've got no big fuck off open Mercedes, followed by Golf GTI, followed by an Audi something or other, all driving past your beach hut while you're sitting there trying to enjoy the view. Would you pay 400,000 quid for that? I bloody would. I mean, this is even worse. I mean, if you've got a beach hut on the left-hand side, well, at least the people on the right-hand side have got a view of the car park. People on the left-hand side, what they've got a view of is somebody else's beach hut. What have they got a view of here? Apart from a fence. They look like toilets to me. Would you pay £500,000 for one of them? I don't think I would.
And now I'm riding along the sea wall here at Southwold with these beach huts. Now these beach huts, these are worth a few quid, right? Because they at least have a view of the sea, don't they? See? There's the sea. And there's the beach huts. Beach huts meet sea. Sea meet beach huts. I mean, you'd pay for that, wouldn't you? I don't know if you'd pay 300,000 quid. See, they're not quite so good, are they? They're nice. We've got a view of concrete. But here are some nice pretty pastel coloured beach huts. They're quite nice, aren't they? Attractive. I don't know if I should be cycling here. It doesn't actually say that I can't. And this, I assume, might be a big assumption, is probably Southwold Pier. I mean, it's a pier, and it's in Southwold. The deduction, Watson, is a simple one. Well, I guess I've come to the end of my brilliant Brompton adventure for today. And this seems like an appropriate place to end it. The green here at Southwold, with the people and their dogs, and one of the beacons there that were lit during the Second World War to warn of the arrival of the German invasion. A string of beacons along the coast, and Southwold beach sands, Southwold people, visitors, tourists, dogs, rubbish bins. Southwold rubbish bin there, and I guess that's it. Doing a kind of 360 degrees view here, and we end, I suppose, where we began.